Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to the Hotspur Hood, the home of all things Spurs. It's really dark, isn't it? Internet's perfect, but how can it be so dark in this room? There we go. Is that a bit better? Oh, lovely. Beautiful. See my daughter's gymnastics bar there. Right, we're back. Today is the lunchtime scoop. A few topics I want to get discussing. A fair few. I should have called this Spurs pop-up because we're not going to be here very long. But the ones that do join us, fantastic to have you on board, whether you're watching live or on the recorded version. Please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell and super chats. Oh, I've been playing tennis today. Sweaty, but it's done. Endorphins released, fitness done. Let's talk Spurs. Ready to talk Spurs. So, woo! We're unbeaten. We stayed unbeaten for another weekend. We're winning the league. We're going to do the Invincibles. We're winning the league. According to some people, unbelievable. We're going to get onto the Spurs delusion shortly. But there's plenty of topics I wasn't expecting to discuss. Plenty of topics I wasn't expecting to talk about. And if you've got any topics you want to put in yourself, let me know. We can get discussing. This is a solo stream. I do these now and again. Full interactivity. Get in the chat. Tell me what you think. Jacob Farrow, big up T. What's happening, mate? We're winning the league. Apparently. Big up. Louis K. How you doing? Regular. How you doing, my friend? Claude Murphy. I hope Harry does not hit a purple patch at Munich because they would boo him and demand that he leaves. Al Ittihad is interested in signing Richarlison. When does their window close? But I'm not sure. I thought the window closed around the same time as us. So they must be mid-September because their season is pretty much the same as ours. Same schedule. They've got 20 teams in their league. So the transfer window must be wrapped up in Saudi Arabia soon. We can't sell Richarlison, surely. It's bad enough selling Sanchez. We got Phillips. And Phillips and Dyer is the only backup, unless you count Ben Davies, who's never played. I'm hearing, Ben Davies can play centre-back. He can't play centre-back in a 2. He can play centre-back in a 3 for Wales and under Conte at left centre-back in a 3. No chance Davies is playing middle centre-back. Not a chance. So Eric Dyer, Davis and Phillips, who's played 7 times for Blackburn. That's bad enough. But we sell Richarlison, then what? Look at the backup we got. What have we got? We got Son up top, then who? He's not even a natural striker, Son. I know he scored 3 against Burnley. But what do we do then? The sort of thing that will happen. Veliz doesn't play. He's never really played. Completely unproven. Is that where we go? Tony Rodriguez, big up T. Big up yourself. The Saudis' window's closed. Richie is staying. That's what I thought. I thought it was around about here, early September and stuff. I know it closed a little bit after us, but 10th of September. 10th of September, I think we're good to go. I don't think we're going to sell any more players now. Let's put my rolling banner up. Here we go. Someone's already mentioned it in the chat. Talk about segments that I wasn't expecting to talk about today. Well, no, I saw this over the weekend. I'm sure everybody has, especially the ones that go on X. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. How long before Romero goes? How long does Romero stay with us? Christian Romero. We know it's international break. I heard this subject come up a lot the last few days. Word on the street is that he's injured on international duty, so we're not going to see him again for Argentina this international break. Although the last few hours, it seems that it's not as bad as first feared, and he should be fit for when we return against Sheffield United next weekend. It's not surprising that he's injured, that he picks up these little niggles. He's always picked up these little niggles. In fact, the first season, he only started 19 games for us. 19 league games, that was it. So the way he plays, he's a rebel. He goes in with his feet, goes diving in. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Seems to have sorted his discipline out relatively well so far this season. It's still very, very, very early days. But the way he goes in for tackles, he's always going to get injured. So we're going to need this backup. I keep coming back to the centre-back backup. We need backup. Van der Ven took a knock as well in his second game. He nearly got injured. So we're going to need these centre-backs. We're going to be using Dyer. We're going to be using Phillips. We're going to be using Ben Davies at centre-back. If we use Ben Davies at centre-back, I'm hearing Emerson Royal as well. I think Emerson Royal is going to play in a 2 at centre-back. Wow. That is a monumental failure of the transfer window. If Ben Davies or Emerson Royal play in a back 4 at centre-back, That is a monumental failure of the transfer window. Nothing we can do now. It's done. But let's get to the point with Romero. Let's get to the point. How long can we keep him at Spurs? Well, we kept great players in the past for a long, long time. Best striker in the world, Harry Kane, 8-9 years. Romero, he's blown hot, he's blown cold over the last 2 years. I don't think many clubs are going to take a risk on him just yet. They're going to, most big clubs that would pay, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 million pounds for Romero, they'll wait a whole season to see if he is disciplined, to see if he can stay fit, and to see if he can be, as you know, consistent over 38 games, not 3 or 4 games. I'll tell you what, look, he's got a good reputation. He's got a great reputation. He's won the World Cup at centre-back. Messi loves him. Messi talks about him non-stop, which is always a huge bonus for your reputation, that's for sure. But I can honestly say, before someone brought this up today, I never really thought about losing Romero. I really haven't. I don't see the big clubs focusing on him just yet. As I said, consistency needs to be there. Yeah, he started off this season well. I don't think he's got a yellow card for us yet. So that's good. He's disciplined himself slightly better, I suppose, early on. But like many of the players, like many of the clubs, like many of the new managers or the managers that have been there for a while, the next 6 weeks of the season, in all leagues that have started around this point, top 5 leagues in Europe for sure, will be the barometer. The next 2 months, the next 6 weeks, the next 2 months. Let's wait for 10 games. Let's wait for 12 games at least before we start talking about this is Ange ball. This is how we play. It's how we've played in 5 games. You know, I say 4 games, 5 games, and we lost to Fulham. So very, very early days for everyone involved. Yeah, Sheffield United next week. That's not tougher. That's not a tougher game for sure. But after that, it's Arsenal, North London derby. Can't wait for that. Liverpool the week after. That's when we'll see. That's when we'll see if this Ange ball can hold up, and whether the defence can hold up, whether the midfield can hold up. One thing I am convinced of is that the midfield will hold up. Basuma and Maddison, because they're proven in the Premier League. Maddison's proven in the Premier League. Basuma with Brighton for a couple of years was proven in the Premier League, and they're starting to show their previous quality in the Premier League already at Spurs. So I'm convinced with those. The back four, the forward line, not so sure. Not so sure. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Keep coming back to it, but for me, the window was a failure. The window was a failure, quite frankly. Right, before we get into the next topic, as I said, I should have called this Spurs pop-up. These relatively short streams, and it's going to be a very short one today. I should have called Spurs pop-up, but what did we call? I don't even remember what. Oh, lunchtime scoop. Lunchtime scoop. There's a couple of scoops. I suppose the biggest scoop today is that Romero looks like he's not going to be injured, which is fantastic. Now, this is controversial. Very controversial. I haven't done a show since this. I think the Aussie boys, done a stream on it yesterday, and I think they might have touched on this a little bit, maybe not so much. But Harry Kane drops a bomb on Spurs, quite frankly. He didn't even call Levy out or Enoch. He just threw some facts out there. I don't see what's so controversial about it, but a lot of people is run them up the wrong way. I'm not afraid to talk about Harry Kane like some people are. Of course, we have to move on, but we also have to face reality and learn from history, learn from our mistakes, and what we've done with some of our great players, not just Harry Kane, the Berbatovs, the Modric's, the Bowes, is we haven't done enough to keep them in terms of winning trophies. And it's the same for Harry Kane. Had we won trophies, I think he'd still be in now. But the disrespect I'm hearing from Spurs fans to Harry Kane because he threw a few home truths out there. Look, I hope he does more in the future. Maybe once he retires, it might be smart because I still think Levy will be there once Kane retires. He'll still be in control, which is depressing. But say some home truths about Levy. I don't care if he gets Levy to pull his wallet out, and the Spurs fans, some of the more Spurs enablers, Levy enablers, let's say, to wake up and smell the coffee about Levy, then fantastic. I don't care. I'm sure everyone's seen what he said. Basically explaining that his brief time with Bayern, and it is a very brief time that Kane's been there, there's so much more expectation. There's so much more pressure to perform. And that encompasses everything. That encompasses the fan base. If the fan base are ambitious, the players will be ambitious to a certain degree. the ownership, the management, the players in general, how good they are. That's what puts the pressure on the team. We don't have it at Spurs. Kane was shocked that he's seen it in a brief time at Bayern Munich, and fair enough. And I think he was saying this to the German press. So he hasn't just called out the English press to mug Spurs off. He said it in the German press. He's allowed to say things in the German press. I know he was a Spurs player for 89 years, but he's a Bayern Munich player now, so he can say things positively about his current club. But it turns out to be tarnishing Spurs a little bit. I don't think this has a great deal anyway. I think people are jumping the gun a little bit. Yeah, I really do. Good. Throw him under the bus. Levy's messed this club up for long enough. Also, this conversation has been long and hard on Twitter. So much outrage and so many people sticking up for Kane. What side of the fence do you sit on? Everybody knows we have to move on. I agree we have to move on. But let's not. We can't just forget about Kane. We can't completely forget about him. We cannot make the same mistakes with hopefully future world-class players at the club. But I heard some rubbish in terms of Harry Kane wouldn't fit in this Ange system anyway. He couldn't deal with a high press. He couldn't play in a high press. What did Pochettino play? What does Pochettino always play? High press. He plays a higher press than Ange, Pochettino, with Kane in the side. And Kane was magnificent. He scored the most goals he ever did under Pochettino. So that's rubbish. He couldn't play in this Ange system. Absolutely he could, Harry Kane. The reason he's played deeper and got more assists is because we had no Eriksen, we had no Cam, we had no Maddison now. Maddison and Kane would have been perfect. Eriksen, Dele Alli's career, gone the last 3 years. He had nobody. He had nobody in the hole. That's why Kane went in there. Went in the hole, got assists and scored goals. With Maddison there and Kane just in front, would have been absolutely insane. And I would have just liked to see it for a season. I was 100% in the minority. I know I'm in the minority when I say we should have kept Kane for another season. Let him go on a free next season. Get into the top 4. Get into the top 6. I think we can with Kane and Maddison. Then you can bring a better quality of striker in. I don't think we're going to get top 6. It's going to be a struggle to get into top 6, top 7. So who are we going to get next season? Another young Argentine, Veliz, that nobody knows. And what I heard was, but we can't let him go for free. We get the £100 million and we reinvest it. We didn't reinvest it. What did we reinvest? We got Brennan Johnson, a right winger, for half the money. They were like, okay, well, if we get 3 centre-backs for it, great. We didn't get 3 centre-backs. We signed Van der Ven before Kane went. We didn't sign another centre-back. So the £100 million for Kane, we've done nothing with. We've done absolutely nothing with. So Kane and Maddison together would have been fantastic. Of course, we have to move on. Although I think we're going to see it for England over the next few years. I think it's the Euros next summer, isn't it? So Maddison's that good. Maddison, it's very, very competitive in the England squad, especially for the cam position and out wide, fullback position even. But I think Maddison can keep. He's been sensational early on, Maddison, and we've seen him do it over a long period of time for Leicester. So that's great. That's what's great to see. His goal contributions are there already. His direct free kicks, his assisting, they're there already. You can only dream how many they would have scored together. Kane, Maddison, and Son on the left. It would have been crazy. He couldn't. Harry Kane could not sit in the same position he has done in recent seasons if Maddison's at Cam. He just couldn't. He would have to be in the box at number 9. He got the best right foot in the world, Harry Kane. The best right foot in the world. In the box with Maddison supplying him. People saying, no, he wouldn't have adapted to Ange's system. Of course he would have. Played high press. Many, many, many years under Pochettino. It's a myth. It's a myth. People living in non-reality because they can't accept Harry Kane going. Well, he has gone. We've lost a 30-goal-a-season striker. We haven't replaced him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would have loved to see both of them there. Some people don't want to face reality. It's the same. It's not just Harry Kane. It's the same. Berbatov, Modric, Van der Vaart, Bale. We won nothing with these players. Nothing other than a Carabao Cup 16 years ago. 16 years. They haven't won a trophy. 16 years. We can't keep letting top players go without winning anything. Not just Harry Kane, but as I said, the other players I aforementioned. 16 years. It's going to be 16 years since we win a trophy. That's if we win one this season. Because obviously, We're not winning the league. Some people think we are. Some people will try and sell you the fact that we are. It's not happening. And well, our best chance is the FA Cup now, which doesn't start till January. The Carabao Cup already. Yeah. Okay. So let me get out of this. Let me take this. Let me take this screen off a second. Let's get back in the chat. Why are we so dark? I've got everything sorted now. Internet's fine. Room's fine. No noise from the kids. But I need to get the lighting. I need to get the lighting sorted. That's next up. I promise you, next stream, Tuesday night, lighting will be on point. Okay, let's see what people are saying. Romero has here we go. We're talking about Romero. Going back to Romero, that's fine. Romero trained today with his national team. He's okay. Yeah, I think it was doom and gloom a few days ago, but it was the same with Van der Ven a few weeks back. You know, they said that he wouldn't make the Saturday game. To be fair, they said the same about Maddison. He was in crutches after the Man United game, but he recovered. He recovered quickly. So yeah, Romero has a knee injury. He's all right now. It seems Shaquille. I don't know if you've heard about that, but I heard about that this morning. He's good news in terms of Romero for Sheffield United next weekend. When is our game against Sheffield United? No game is getting televised. No Spurs games are getting televised this season. We know why. We're not in Europe. We're not a big deal. Outside Europe, you don't get as many games. You get more 3 o'clock kickoffs, don't you? Is it live? It's not a massive game, is it? It's Saturday 3 o'clock again. Saturday 3 o'clock against Sheffield United. I do like the Saturday 3 o'clocks, but would like to see us live on TV now and again without having to watch a stream that's like the frame rate is shocking, and then Chinese commentary or whatever. But it's not to be. It's not to be. We should. It's famous last words. Beat Sheffield United comfortably, regardless. Like we did the other 2 teams that are probably getting relegated, Burnley and Bournemouth. That's why I'm not sold on this. We've been magnificent at the start. I'm going to get on that next, actually. This Spurs still unbeaten. We're going to be invincible. Today, they will check whether Romero is available for next match, or he will be returned to Tottenham for training. Because if Romero gets injured, then it will be a huge blow. Of course it will. Of course it will. VDV and Romero are clearly our best centre-backs. We don't know much about VDV at all. We don't know how good Romero is going to be consistently in a 2. We just don't know yet. But they're clearly our 2 best centre-backs. And the backup we have for them is just nowhere near good enough. Romero should bench for next match and give chance to other players. Who are you going to put in there? Eric Dyer, Davis? Who are you putting in? How come fans get upset every time someone tells the truth about our club? Jose, Conte, now Kane. Our fans wait to tear them down. They do. They should be looking at this, smelling the coffee and putting the pressure on Levy because of these situations. Like, this is the biggest paradox I see. I don't understand it. Okay, we don't want to be seen as negative all the time. Okay, it's toxic, But it's not really. To critique people, but just in all aspects of life. If you're a shop owner and you're critiquing your staff, it'll make them better. If you're a dad, father, parent, and you critique your children, it makes them better. You need to critique. It only makes people better. And if the ownership's this bad, critique it. Don't stick up for it all the time. Critique. We know what, I keep saying it, but we know what 2 negatives make. 2 negatives make a positive. And there's plenty to be negative about. We're not being negative for the sake of it. Some of the people that are so-called Levy out, toxic. We're negative because we haven't won a trophy for 16 years. And we've had some world-class players. One's just left. You know? Bale, Modric. How can you have this class of player? How can you have that class of player? It was even supplemented. In 15, 16, 16, 17, the week was league. It was supplemented. We had a great back 4. Lloris was in his prime. Vertonghen, Toby, Carl Walker, Rose, Dembele, Ericsson. They were in their prime. We still refused to just get the 1 or 2 or 3 players that would have won us titles, and we're 16 years without a trophy. That's why we're negative. We need to wake up and smell the coffee. Tells you everything you need to know about the ambition of this fan base, conditioned to match Daniel Levy's lack of ambition on the pitch. He is. I agree, 100%. Afternoon, bruv. Yes, Audio. How you doing, my friend? Even if Kane wins trophies at Munich, he would never be seen as one of them. He would never have that love as he did at Tottenham. Ask man. Yeah, of course, and that's in many ways, that's why I think Kane held on for so long. I mean, he held on for so long because of his love for Spurs. Clearly, he loved Spurs. How could you not, coming from the youth academy at that age? He wanted to win things at Spurs. Of course he did. But it was just never a reality. Never, ever a reality. The more the years went on. We finished last 4 years, we finished 6th. We finished 7th. 4th under Conte, which was okay. The football wasn't great, but we still finished 4th back in the Champions League. Now 8th last season. Kane had to go. His time was up. He's not going to win anything here. He stayed for too long, quite frankly. But I don't just think it's because he loved Spurs he stayed so long. It's the 6-year contract. 6-year contract killed him. He should have gone 2 years ago. He wanted to go 2 years ago. It's clear he wanted to go 2 years ago. Levy wouldn't let him go. It was the most genius thing Levy's done is give him a 6-year contract. When Kane signed that 6-year contract, he had no idea that the next 6 years would be completely regressive. When he signed the 6-year contract, we were fighting for titles with Leicester and Chelsea, 15, 16, 16, 17. He's also lost out a lot of money, Harry Kane. Should have been on 400 grand a week the last 2 or 3 years, especially 200 grand for 6 years. Made a big mistake signing that contract. But it's good for us. Look, I'm happy Levy gave him that big contract because at least we kept him for as long as we did. He would have gone 2 years ago, if not. Even if Kane wins, oh yeah, we read that. Tommy, you need to get yourself a Fire Stick or an Android box. I ain't missed a game in years. You ain't missed a game in years. I actually sometimes like not watching the games. I'm old school. I really like listening to games on radio. Because you say to you, because they say, you know, okay, you don't see the game, but the radio, they explain it so well. They're giving us an inclination of what it looks like. So I don't mind listening to games on the radio sometimes. I really don't. Old school type. But I do need to get a Fire. So I had one like 2 years ago and I was watching a game time and time again. And I'll tell you what, if this Ange ball does go to plan, not just yet, but in 10 games time, then it'll be wonderful to watch. You want to see progressive attacking football. If it does work, then I'll probably certainly get a Fire Stick and watch games week in, week out. But right now, I'm not that bothered. You know, I'm really not that bothered. I'll rather watch extended highlights after. Is the Romero injury true? Haven't seen anything reliable. As I said, to be fair, we heard the same. I don't know. I don't have sources in that regard. But we heard the same about Van der Ven. And nothing happened. He played the following week. Maddison, the two biggest rumours of injuries we had, didn't come to fruition. It wasn't a thing. Now, this is a bit tongue-in-cheek. Spurs still unbeaten. Obviously, we didn't play this weekend. It's 4 games, for fuck's sake. It's 4 games. But anyway, we are still unbeaten in the league in 4 games. Not unbeaten overall, though, because Fulham embarrassed us and knocked us out of a trophy. The only one we realistically had a chance of winning. Some fans are genuinely talking like we're in the Arsenal Invincibles. I'm hearing Chris Cowling's going on about this. I'm hearing the cheese room are talking like we're going to win the title. That's up to them. You can support your team how you want. Your predictions on what the team are going to do, you're free to think how you want. But when you get in a debate with someone, if you're debating me and I'm on the predictions, then I'll say you're an idiot if you think we're going to challenge for the title 4 games in. It's just not. I don't see it. Don't see it. Nowhere near the depth. We saw that against Fulham. We didn't have the depth. Fulham are an average team. They were good last season, but they've lost players this season. They had the Dharma Traore starting. They sold Mitrovic. You know, I don't think Tosin was playing against us, was he? It was a weak Fulham side, and the depth is not good enough. That's the thing. This Ange ball could be great. But when the depth comes in, if you've got a few players injured, especially the Maddisons, especially the Basumas, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. But I keep going back to it. There's one big positive, huge positive, and that is the quartet in centre midfield. Because I've seen him in the Premier League, Basuma and Maddison. I'm really, really happy with that. And that's a step forward. It's a step forward. It's something we didn't supply Conte with. We didn't supply Conte with a creative midfielder. And this is the reply I get. Well, Conte didn't want a creative midfielder. No, he didn't want a cam. He never plays with a cam because he plays a centre mid of 3. But he still wanted a creative centre mid, a deep creative centre mid is what Conte always had, and great centre backs. We didn't get him a centre back and we didn't get him a creative centre mid. He always had creative centre mids, Conte. Fabregas at Chelsea, he turned into a creative centre mid. He was attacking. Pirlo, one of the best deep creative mids you'll ever see. He had Pirlo at Juventus and Italy when he managed the national team. Brozovic, Inter Milan, brilliantly deep. creative midfielder. He always had deep creative midfielders. At Spurs, he had Skip, Højbjerg, Ben Davies left centre-back. What are you going to do with that? Eric Dyer right centre-back. But the Ange system, we sort of got the right players for Ange in the starting 11. When you get injuries, you're in big trouble. And we don't have probably the best number 9 over the last 5 years, which will make a big difference. Kane bailed us out of a lot of games. And we'll see. We'll see as the season develops if that's an issue. I'm sure it will be, but we'll get going. We'll get going. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we have got a very, very fickle fan base. I stuck up for Ange when he made so many changes against Fulham. We made too many, 9. We've got to make 4 or 5. We've got to give the backup players minutes in their legs. And Ange has to see how these backup players perform. He has to see how these backup players perform on match day. It's different in training. We've got to see. Imagine Romero gets injured now, right? Say that he is injured. He will get injured at some stage. And Van der Ven will, and players in general will. We need to see what the players are capable of now to come in. Doesn't look good, does it? The depth after the Fulham game. Look, I'm just trying to not be reactionary after 4 league games. We beat one good side, Man United. They're a good side. It's great to beat Man United because we seem to lose to them all the time over recent seasons. And I can't wait for the North London derby. The reality is we haven't come up against a good attack yet. We just haven't. The best attack by far is Man United's. Brentford, without Tony, they had Visa, who's all right. He mashed Emerson up, didn't he, Visa? We drew against. Man United, Garnacho, Rashford, who has one good season every 5 years, and Anthony. That's who we come up against, Man United. Bournemouth, Solanke, Burnley, who? Fulham, Munoz. They sold Mitrovic, haven't replaced him, so we played a very poor Fulham side and lost. It's not me being negative. It's honest opinions. It's 5 games. 2 of the teams are going to get relegated. Bournemouth and Burnley probably going to get relegated out of 4 games we played. So there's a long, long way to go. I can't wait for this North London derby because it can't go worse than it did last season. We got smashed 2 games running, and we have to beat Arsenal. It's just something you have to do every season. We have to beat Arsenal this season. And Chelsea. Chelsea's huge. I said in the summer, Chelsea is probably the bigger game because of Pochettino. But I also said, who knows, he might not even make it. Chelsea get rid of manager so fast, he might not even make it. I think it's, when do we have the Chelsea game? Is it October or November? Let's have a look. I don't really do my research a great deal. But I know it's October or it might be early November, but it's a huge game. I think it's at Tottenhamhotspurstadium. We're at home, so we're going to see Poch, potentially, if he's still at Chelsea, in the Spurs dugout. That was always the biggest derby for me. To be fair, after we got Sheffield United, then we got Arsenal and Liverpool, as I said, then Luton. It's another easy game. We got a really good start to the season, to be fair. I think we've got another international break after the 7th of October. Yeah, we have. Because we've got Luton on the 7th of October, then we've got Fulham on the 23rd of October. Quite a few 8 o'clock kickoffs. And yeah, 4th of November. I thought it was early November. Spurs Chelsea. That's huge. Huge game. We've got to be straight. We've had an easy start to the season in terms of teams come up against. I suppose we were unlucky to get Fulham, to get a Premier League club in the first round of the Carabao Cup. That's unfortunate. Hot day. Hot day. My prediction, I've said it from the start of the season, I'm not changing it. My prediction is we'll get 7th in terms of league finish. We'll start losing loads of games down the road. Will 7th be terrible? I think 7th is okay for Ange in his first season. I think we'll sneak 7th at the best. I think the teams around us will come good. I really do. But as I said, can't wait for the North London derby. That'll be happening shortly. Got to beat Sheffield United next week. And we've got to say how it is. Bournemouth and Burnley. Bournemouth, Burnley and Sheffield United have got 3 points between them. None of them have won a game this season. So they're relegation candidate teams. We couldn't ask for an easy start to the season. My point is this. Let's calm the fuck down. It's the 10th of September. Calm the fuck down, Spurs fans. 10th of September. Because the ones that think we're going to do amazing this season because we played attacking football early on, they're the ones that get the most depressed when we start losing games. We are going to start losing games. We're going to down the road. It's how we react. How we react. Right, let's see what people are saying. I say it's going to be a very, very short stream today. Very, very short stream. I might take a little look at Twitter, actually. I might take a little look at Twitter. Before I do, I think we've got 23 people watching. Please smash a like. Smash a like, people. It's free. It makes a huge difference. Let's see where we are with the likes. 12, only 12 likes. Come on, guys. That's pitiful. That's pitiful. Smash a like on there. Get us up to 15 at least before we go today. It is free, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Right, I'm going to get a share screen up now of Twitter. See what tweets are doing the rounds, because we always have a lot of fun. Always have a lot. I troll quite a few people as well, just for jokes sometimes. Because people take it so seriously. Twitter, they take it so seriously. There's one interaction I had in particular. Wasn't even my tweet. I retweeted that I'm going to show now. Show how deluded some Spurs fans are. I'll tell you what. Don't make the error of getting on Twitter, or X as it's called now, if you're not already on it. It is a cesspit. Or if you do go on it and haven't before, then don't take it seriously. I did at the start. When I started streaming, I took it seriously. Don't take it seriously. It's a cesspit and it's just banter. Right. Big up Tommy, my G. John Fitzpatrick. What's happening, my man? In Sweden, all Premier League games and most Championship. Yes, I know. It's crazy, man. Like everywhere, like I've done a lot of traveling. No matter where I go, and the Premier League season's on, America, South Africa, it doesn't matter. You can go Africa, the other side of the world, Thailand, it doesn't matter. They all show the Premier League games at 3 o'clock kickoffs. It doesn't matter, but that's why they don't do it in this country, because the blackout. It's always been the rule in this country, the 3 o'clock blackout on a Saturday. They don't show any of the games in this country. It makes sense. It really, really does make sense. They do it because they want fans to go to the games. And so it makes a lot of sense that the 3 o'clock kickoffs are not live. I think it was during COVID, because couldn't go to the games anyway. So it didn't make much difference. That's the only time I've seen the 3 o'clock kickoffs live. Tottenham is the only club in world football so far that has played 5 games and 4 is away from home. Yeah. I noticed that 4 away from home. Yeah, it's good. I mean, that is the foundation of any good club, is to get your home form going, make your home stadium a fortress. And we haven't been able to, because we haven't played enough home games there. So it'll be interesting if we can do that. Great to win away games. Beautiful to win away games, but make your home ground a fortress. Stay unbeaten at home for as long as you can. Get that fan base on your side. When things are going well at Spurs, great. But one loss and everyone loses their shit. Start booing our own players. And that's why I try not to be too reactionary these days in terms of winning one game or losing one game. I tell you what, after losing, I'm telling you now, after losing to Fulham, if we lost to Burnley, I tell you now, yeah, people don't want to hear this, but we would have Microsoft Word. They'd have the Ange out leaflets ready to go, banners ready to go for one more loss. That's how fickle this fan base is. It truly is that fickle. But let's get the home form right. That's the foundation of any team. Dub Shaman. Pep knows he has a problem with Ange. He's smarter than us in assessing the capabilities of a rival manager, and we've got an unbelievable record against Man City anyway. But to be fair, Pep only ever, because I know Pep spoke well of Ange, Pep's a very, very smart guy. He usually will speak well of the managers that don't really bother him, to be quite honest with you. He will never speak highly of Klopp. He will never speak highly of Poch, not while he's at Chelsea anyway. He will never speak highly. Well, he's never spoke highly of Arteta since he's gone to Arsenal as his assistant manager, wasn't it? So I don't think he sees Spurs as much of a threat, Ange or no Ange, to be honest with you. So, you know, you got to take everything with a pinch of salt with Pep. Pep said that Højbjerg was a great player and Southampton has signed a great player because he had Højbjerg at Bayern Munich. If he was that great, he would have signed him himself at Man City. I think he knows they're good players. That he'll save his praise for people that are not going to affect him. And it doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what manager you are. This Spurs team are not going to fight for the title. They're not going to fight with Man City for anything. Right, we got a draw away to a Premier League side with our worst team. 1 or 2 injuries, we'll find a way. Too negative, bro. Yeah, I mean, look, you can call me too negative, but I'm the one that gets less depressed when we lose games. So I think in the long run, I'm not going to beat Ange out. I'll give Ange 12, 13 games. A lot of the so-called positive Spurs fans won't. Not saying yourself, Doug, but yeah. It's the reality of the situation is 2 of the teams out of the 4 we've played. We've got 10 points. 6 of the points are against teams that are getting relegated. Bournemouth definitely getting relegated. I even put money on Bournemouth getting relegated. The second they sack Gary O'Neill, they've got no chance. Burnley, they probably will get relegated. They're 20th already. I know it's early days, but they got to sign some Premier League experience. They should have signed some Premier League experience on the company, but they didn't sign anyone, so they're probably getting relegated. Sheffield United probably getting relegated too, and we lost to Fulham. This 1 or 2 injuries, we'll find a way. Depends who the injuries are to. If it's centre mid and Bentancur's back, I think we'll cope. If it's Sarr and we bring Højbjerg or Skipping, I think we could cope. But if it's say Maddison and Romero, let's say, we're going to struggle. We're going to really struggle in my eyes. I mean, especially Maddison. Like Romero, Maddison gets a lot of injury. So, do you know what? I'm glad we kept Lo Celso over in Ndombele. So there's a chance that we could, that Lo Celso could do something if when Maddison gets injured. But I'm not sold. I'm not sold on the depth. I'm not happy with the transfer window. So that's why I'm negative. Spurs had a toxic leadership group, including Lloris, Dyer, and Kane. He had to go. We move on. By giving Romero and Maddison a son of leadership was one of the smartest moves Ange could have done. I tell you what now, the greatest thing Ange ever done was not starting Dyer. Not just not starting Dyer. He's not even been in his squads, has he? If Kane was there, if Kane was there, he would have. He would be starting every week. Let's face it, he's the greatest striker in the world. Well, him and Haaland. But Dyer's never been good enough. Ange saw he wasn't good enough, and he threw him out straight away. So Ange gets massive bonus points just for that. And hopefully we can rip up Dyer's contract, or I don't know, whatever. There must be a transfer window open, a transfer window in Europe or even outside Europe somewhere that we can throw Eric Dyer if he's not happy to sit on the bench. Although now we've sold Sanchez, who's our backup. Dyer's going to have to stay and probably be back. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Romero or Van de Ven do get injured. Who comes in? I don't know about toxic. Lloris in his prime was absolutely sensational. Won the World Cup, 150 caps for France. In his prime, is absolutely brilliant for us. Kane, what can he say? He's the greatest striker in the world. Dyer was an idiot. He's always been an idiot. He's never been good enough. But yeah, I don't know about toxic leadership group. He had to go. We move on by giving Romero. Yeah, I think Maddison. We've put so much on Maddison's already. I love him. I think he's a great signing. Really, really good signing. But to make him vice captain already goes to show how little leadership we have in the team. A lot of these players have been here a long, long time. Still don't give them a leadership. It's crazy. Vice captain already. But Maddison seems to have adapted straight away, and that's just the biggest positive by far in the first 5 games this season. Big up Tommy in chat. Leader White Lane, Robbie, I believe. How you doing? Spot on, Tommy, about it only being September and holding on horses as a fan base. We can enjoy the way we're playing, but also be sceptical of saying we're going to win a league because of the opposition. You always got to look at the opposition. You got to look at the start of the season. There are so many variables. The 3 main variables are: it's very early. Very, very early. Let's play against bigger sides. Let's see what happens. That's one variable. Second one is, even if we start playing very well, other teams will be aware of Ange ball. How are they going to? How do we do when other teams are aware of how we're going to play? Because they're going to put things in place to prevent Ange ball from happening. So play better teams. What happens when Ange ball becomes a thing potentially if we do start doing fantastic? And then what happens with the injuries? 3 big variables. And it's the same for all clubs. All clubs in the league, it's the same thing. So things are still going great in 10 games' time, then brilliant. That's a good barometer. That's a fantastic barometer. If we're still in the top 4 at that stage, then absolutely brilliant. What can you say? You can say fantastic. And Ange ball is a great start. But I'm not sold after 5 games, losing to Fulham in one of them. Big up Tommy Elias. What's happening, my man? How you doing? Spurs before first international breaks, last few seasons were always good. Yeah, Nuno got manager of the month. I don't know. He did get manager of the month, didn't he? Ange did get manager of the month. As I said, Nuno won his first 3 games. He won his first 3 games. We didn't even win our first 3 games under Ange did because we drew against Brentford. And he beat Man City in one of those games. Doesn't mean anything. You win 3 games or 4 games doesn't mean anything. 7, 8 games later, he was sacked. I was there when he got sacked. It was that Man United game. We got smashed 3-0 and he got sacked. So, yeah, let's wait a little bit. Spurs before, right. Yeah, I want to get onto. I want to have a look at Twitter. Let's see if I can find some of these tweets. In fact, do people know Johnny? Do people know Johnny? I've had him on my show a few times. He goes on Tottenham on tour quite a lot with Daigle. He's a good friend of Daigle. Good guy, really, really nice guy. Knows his stuff. Certainly knows his stuff. So I'm going to try and get this in there. But make sure. Right, let's zoom this in a bit. This is the original. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Let's zoom this in so we can read it properly. So this was the original tweet by Johnny H. So this is the picture. This is it's tongue in cheek. Look, the hotel we're being made. Yes, Kane sold. So who needs to invest our money in defenders and strikers when you can lodge with Haringey Council to up the 23-story hotel to 29 stories and increase its floor space by nearly 40%? This is exactly what the fans want. In other words, we're not investing money in Kane. We're investing it in property. Now there was some replies, not so great. And this guy, oh my God, there's a lot of them, Levy enablers, but this guy, these are the fans I worry about. These are the fans I don't want to symbolize Spurs. So put a crap pipe down, son, if you think you'll get all that for 90 million, fuck me. So obviously Johnny was joking, but I got involved here. So, mate, I think I've worked that out myself. The point is there's an investment. But this is just stupidity from this guy. Oh, so all these clubs like Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle, all spending mega money is really working out for them. Like Ange replied in a press interview. When asked if Maddison was a steal at £40 million, he replied, what world do we live in where 40 million is cheap? That's okay. But the reality is this. I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but it's just the foolish nature of some Spurs fans who think they're being great Spurs fans. Chelsea have won 5 Prems, 5 FA Cups, 2 Champions League since Roman. Man United aren't spending mega money, still more than us. Newcastle went from 18th to 4th, and it's true. Money does make a difference. Say what you want, but money does make a difference. Then the City, of course, they're a bit good since they got money. Arsenal spending it showing. Oh, not to forget Man United doing nearly 90 million on a striker, 50 million on Mount this season, and still look shit. And this is the problem. This is the overall problem. We're going crazy about 4 games. Going mad about 4 games like we're going to be title contenders. This money that clubs spend over a long period of time makes a difference. As I said, Chelsea, when they took over, they've won 18 trophies since they took over. Newcastle were 100% getting relegated 18 months ago. They finished 4th last season. Money makes a difference. You've got to spend it wisely. Okay, Chelsea the last season, since their new ownership have been there, don't spend it wisely. But Jesus Christ, money does make a difference. And we have got money. I don't know. It went on a little bit and the guy just started talking real nonsense. Real nonsense. And like with all debates, when you start getting personal, that's when you know. That's when you know you're losing a battle. Let's see what else is happening. Let's see what's happening in the. I follow quite a few Spurs fans. Levy must be more angry with Kane than him. Spurs haven't won an FA Cup in over 30 years. This is Tottenham way. So explain how Harry Kane's saying there's no pressure to win at Spurs has cause of our fan base to turn against him. It's true. So true. I think that's still the same fans who said we just want to watch good football now hate Kane for speaking about winning. You bellends. You don't mess about, does he still? Who's this? This is funny. What Tottenham moment would you most like to change? Eric Dyer in the Spurs shirt. Oh, we got Elias in the chat though, haven't we? Loves Eric Dyer. Do you know what? Back then, oh no, I took it off, didn't I? So this is this is the post. Yeah, what Tottenham moment would you most like to change? Do you know what? Eric Dyer was okay for the first couple of seasons. He's okay in defensive midfield. All right. Autism, Harry Scarf. 3 weeks smoke free. Well done. Thoughts on Vicario? Apparently Vicario is the next Buffon. No, because he made a decent save against Burnley. I didn't bring it up, Elias. It was on the tweets. Homepage of the tweets. To be fair, I do talk about Eric Dyer a lot, so it's no surprise that he comes up. The way our fan base has turned on Harry Kane is quite astounding. Maybe he should have stayed and went for free. Levy, as usual, must be grinning like a Cheshire cat. His best trick yet, getting our fan base to turn on the greatest goal scorer. Anyone who's turned on Kane, you're free to. It doesn't matter. He's not there anymore. But at the end of the day, the way I see it is you learn a lot from your mistakes, and we can't let this happen again. So of course we move on from Kane, but we've done it time and time again. It's not just Kane. There's plenty. I don't know whether you'd call Berbat of world class. You put him in that bracket, I think. Modric, Van der Vaart. Modric definitely, Bale definitely. I think Van der Vaart you'd put in that bracket, and to win one trophy in all that time. I keep coming back to it. Is sacrilege. It's a sham. It's an absolute sham. It's not just Harry Kane. It's not just Harry Kane. You can have fun just looking on Twitter. I watched a bit of the game. Did anyone watch the whole game last night? England drew 1-1. To be fair, I was more involved with the rugby. I was more involved in the rugby and then US Open. Coco Goff, and she won me some money. So I put money on her when she was a set down. Made some good money out of that. Did Manders have a good game rate out of 10? He looked alright when I was watching. I'll tell you what, as I said earlier, I think we're going to see a lot of Maddison and Kane in the England shirts, and rightly so. Oh, Germany lost 4-1 to Japan. Madness. His coat won't like us. He should have stepped up and said, oh, listen, we need to win this one. There's lots on Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer remains at the club, even though nobody wants him at the club, the robbing rat. We should all stand up and boo him on the 15th minute of every single game at the Lane. Who is with me? I'm with you. I'm with you. So is that what we're going to do? Let's do it. Any Spurs fans that make it to the stadium, let's do this. But do you know what? I keep taking it off, don't I? I keep taking the share screen off. So yeah, look, Spursy Cole. Eric Dyer remains at the club, even though nobody wants him at the club. The robbing the rat. But this is the thing. This is what annoys me the most about Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer this summer is everyone knows that he's not wanted now. The fan base turned on him for the first time at the end of last season. He's got 12 months left on his contract. You know, just have some respect for the club, have some respect for the people, and just go, man. Just go. You're still, 28 years old, Dyer? You can have another 5 or 6 years in the National League. They're the only ones that are taking him. Who is the first? I don't care if you're posting. Move. Notifications on posting. Get out of my way. Love you too, bro. I hate Tottenham. This guy's good. He causes trouble. I don't want to know about your posting there, people. I hate Tottenham. Oh my God, so do I. Oh my fuck's sake. My all-time favourite squad, like anybody cares what your all-time favourites starting 11. Oh my God. Oh my God. My all-time favourite. Who is this guy? HC07. Look at this. Look at this. This is shocking. My all-time Spurs 11. Harry Kane, Gareth Bale, Son, Maddison, who's played 4 games for us. Bentancur, who's just not been there very long. I like Bentancur, but Bissouma, who was terrible last season, but had 4 or 5 good games. I believe in Bissouma and Maddison, but still. All-time Spurs 11. Vertonghen on the left. Emerson at right back. This guy. Let's see. Let's take a look at this guy. Let's see what this guy. I've got a funny feeling this guy might be a slight bit fickle. I'm not following him. Good. He's not following me either. Let's see. Let's see what he's saying. What's this? My Prem team of the season so far. My Prem team of the season so far, he's put 3 of Spurs back 4. Right. Yeah, this guy. This guy, look, I'm not going to say he's an idiot. He's just unbelievably fickle. Unbelievably fickle, some of these Spurs fans. Truly are. Right. We're 55 minutes into the show. We've got 22 people watching. Come on, we've got to be on 15 likes by now. Come on. Oh, we're on 19. Fantastic. Get us up to 20 then. Get us up to 20. That would be marvelous. I promise that things are developing every stream on here. Got a quiet room, no kids shouting. Internet's slightly better now, although it looks to be a little bit shammy today. Light. We're going to give the light is going to be back Tuesday night for the next stream. We're going to have guests on 8 o'clock Tuesday. Make sure you join us for that. We're not done just yet. Let's see there's a few more people in the chat. Let's see what people are saying. Come on, Tommy. Why you had to bring that up? Elias, Eric Dyer fan number 1, without a shadow of a doubt. People turning on Kane. Do you know what? They can turn on Kane. It doesn't matter. He's not there anymore. But seriously, it's just it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time turning on Kane. Turn on the owners. That's where the time should be. For me, that's where your time should be most present, and the thing that's going to help Spurs the most. Those turning on Kane are absolute idiots. I agree. That's imagery of hypocrites. Spurs fans are. Wan-Bissaka in right back. What a joke. He's a fantastic defensive right back. Wan-Bissaka. If you watch him over the last few years, he's still a fantastic defensive right back, but he cannot attack whatsoever. Putting Emerson means he's taking a piss. Why is anyone taking it seriously? Yeah, I didn't even know this. I don't even know who this guy is. No, but some of these are not taking a piss. I'll tell you what. You'll put a tweet out there that goes into Levy, and these people will go at you. They will go at you. I'm gonna zoom out. Makes me wanna go back in. Makes you want to go back in and look at some more. Look at some. Let's have a look. If it allows me. Anybody not on Twitter? Anybody in the chat not on Twitter? I don't blame you. If you're not being. Oh, final tonight. I'll be watching that. Coco Goff, well done. No, I don't want to go on US Open tennis. Let's go back home. Let's go back home. I respect that he wore this out in public. Hose allergies. It's great to be live. Let's tickle down slowly. Definitely not what you want. Oh, fantastic. Oh, is this is not the Skywalk, is it? Is this? Oh, no. It's a police officer. I don't know what that is. CCTV idiots. Wow. No, we shouldn't be watching that. There are some cracking, funny Twitter posts. Harry Scarf is quite mainstream schools that aren't willing to make reasonable adjustments to autism. Don't get me started on autism. Just don't get me started. I don't want to get into the political atmosphere. Get to fuck with this Conte nonsense bullshit. Accept mediocrity. What a bollocks. The player who just sacked us off has had a dig at us in the media, and fans are having a dig back. Spurs fans complain about the club mentality and cry when the club's legends call it out. It's so divisive about Harry Kane. This situation, it's so divisive. Shouldn't be divisive. Really. Should be getting on the owner's back. Not just Kane. Happened time and time again. Oh, Matt Hayes. I made it to 3 Spurs games last season. Richarlison gave me 2 incredible moments that made it worth every penny. The brace against Marseille and equalise against Liverpool. I hope he knows every Tottenham Hotspur, every THFC is rooting for him. I don't know. You could be speaking on your own, my friend. Every THFC is rooting for him. What does that mean? Every THFC is rooting for him. Every Tottenham Hotspur football club is rooting for him. Well, I can tell you now, a lot of fans aren't rooting for him. A hell of a lot of fans aren't rooting for Richarlison. One going 32 games. Oh. I follow a lot of controversial figures, I think it's safe to say. What's this? We hate Tottenham more derbies. I don't think they do, to be honest. I don't think anyone cares about Spurs. If I'm honest, nobody really gives a shit about us. John Cleese, I'm fucking done out here. Right. I think we'll leave it there. I think that's about it. We'll get off Twitter. Let's get in the chat for the final time. Come on, Tommy. The guy can't even make it into the national team for Congo. Who is that? Matt talking about a brace against 10-man Marseille. Stop taking a piss. He's awful. I'm not even going to get in about fellow YouTubers, but some people love talking shit. And he might be one of them. He might be. Big up, Elias. Right. We're going to end things there. We end on 28 people watching. Exactly an hour. Come on. 28 people watching. Smash a like. Subscribe. Next show's Tuesday. We're going to have guests. It's going to be much deeper than today's show. That's for sure. Come on. Get us up to 25 before I leave today's show. That'd be wonderful. So, yeah, we're gonna wrap things up there. As I said, next show, guests Tuesday night. Dan, who's becoming a regular on the show. In fact, he's going to start doing his own show soon. We're getting that. We've got that in the pipeline. As you know, we've already got the Spurs Down Under guys every lunchtime Saturday, 1 p.m. That will basically be a preview every Saturday because we play so many 3 o'clock kickoffs now. Yeah, we're getting things going. Different co-hosts, but I am still the main host. Join me Tuesday. Are we up to 25? Come on, get us up to 25. Smash a like if you think the lighting's crap in this room. We're on 25. Thank you ever so much. As I said, join me Tuesday. Great to see so many regulars in the chat. John, Louis K was in at the start. Elias, Lily White Lane, Robbie. Make sure you go to Lily White Lane and subscribe to his channel. Mark Satoshi, who I haven't seen before. If you are new and you're still watching, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 3K. Dub Shaman, Tony Rodriguez, another regular on the show and all shows. He's fantastic. So big up everyone. Stay safe, stay free, stay classy, Lily Whites. Much love.